Whoa. Okay guys, hi, welcome to the Bob and Ramon show, and here is
Bob, and with me is
me. How you doing?
him again. So, number 2 in our sections from up north, and from our friend Simon's collection of fantastic old guitars.
Yeah.
And this time, we've got some thin lines. And what thin lines we've got?
Here we've got a cherry red cherry, but interestingly, it doesn't have block markers because it was pre, wasn't it?
So that's 61.
And also the dots, interestingly, are, you know,
Yes.
quite wide apart, aren't they? Here.
Yes,
Two dots
they
here.
are. They're quite big and they're quite wide apart. They're wider apart than my 59 dot, for example. Yeah.
Right, and the neck is. If I was to just fill my neck.
Right, now that's interesting because
Yeah.
this one is skinnier than that.
Is it really?
Yeah. So by 61, necks are getting skinny. So that must be quite early 61, I would guess, because it's still got a kind of 60-ish, a bit
Slim
bigger
taper.
neck.
They call it slim taper.
Well, it's going towards slim, but it's not a
Yeah.
slim taper. It's still got some meat on it. This is quite skinny.
Right.
And this is 62.
I don't know, I'm going to differ with you there. Can I differ?
Well, maybe not on the depth, but that
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, the nut width. Okay.
it's
Yeah,
altogether a
sorry.
bit smaller.
Sorry,
But
yeah.
well, that's wonderful. So you've got let's see, 61. So you're going to have probably PAFs, maybe patent applied for.
Puffs.
They're still
So these
PAFs.
are you know what? Can I just say this, guys? This is. I know there's a lot of BS around PAFs, aren't there? But when you play a PAF, there's nothing like it. And when I was just playing there, I thought, I bet these are PAFs. They've just got something a little bit special. But I don't know. Obviously, the construction must have been similar to patent applied for. Yes.
Well, you get some of our friends. I mean, people like Stuart Robson at Sunbear Pickups,
Right,
or
yeah.
Joe K.
Great.
Joe K of Joseph K Guitars in London. Both
Right.
of them, have wound pickups for me, and they are exceptional winders.
Right.
But these guys have studied this for their
Yeah.
lives, right? And you get them onto this, and you can go down into wormholes in wormholes, right?
Yeah.
Of the difference in materials, but also the randomness. These guitars are handmade,
Yeah.
hand wound, and so everything from the taper and the feel of each neck to the exact shape of the Mickey Mouse ears, to the internals of the pickups, the magnets, the windings, everything is quite variable. So you can get a dud PAF, you can get a brilliant, you can get a brilliant patent applied for. You can get a brilliant T-top.
But these PAFs seem to be quite consistent. And just get this beautiful sound.
I've had a lot of luck with PAFs. Every PAF
Yeah.
I've played has been good, but I've never come across a dud. But it's only a matter of time,
And also, we've got the mirror top hats, haven't we?
Yeah.
On this.
Okay, which come in about 60, mid 60, yeah.
Yeah. And then what about the headstock?
Single ring, tulips as but no double ring. Double ring. Double rings by then, quite right.
Yeah. So, and what about the shape? It's did they change the Mickey Mouse?
Yeah. So what happens is these chaps start out as very, very rounded, and they gradually become more pointed.
Right.
Over time, there wasn't a day when they suddenly said, "Let's go pointy."
Yeah.
They went pointy over time. Now, what happened with the pickups? These pickups are quite rounded on the corners. On my burst, my 58 burst, the pickup corners are very square.
Right.
These were all pressed on exactly the same form. The hard form that these were pressed on gradually smoothed over time.
Wow.
And so they get rounder. Right.
Brilliant.
The same thing as the form around which the wood was bent.
The jigs.
Right. The jigs.
Yeah.
They wore over time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Which is why the curves that were big and round softened a bit. But they then made the decision to change the shape as well. But they, as I say, it didn't change on one day.
No, it was a gradual process.
Yeah. So
Okay, what do we have here then, Bob?
So this is a 345 from 62 in, again, ridiculous condition. I mean, just
yeah, that looks new.
The neck is showroom, It's got a very interesting colour to it. It's a yellow to brown sunburst, which is kind of right, but there's definitely more pink. It's pinker. These are usually quite yellow and black.
Yeah.
It's got gold parts, being a 345. It's got the veritone, and it's quite a heavy guitar.
Right.
So it's obviously still got the box attached to the veritone stuff inside. And indeed, you could hear when I was playing between position 2 at the beginning and then position 1, which is the veritone switched out. I've never played a guitar with a veritone that had such interesting tones on the veritone. Normally I don't like them.
Yeah.
But this is very, very sweet.
Should we just go? Do you want to go through it? If I play Thriller's Gone in C minor, yeah?
Okay, so let's see where we're so. Right, so that's position 1. Position number 2. Much thinner and reedier. Again, different sound. Now 4. Thin, not really so keen on that, but
I think I've heard B.B. King with that very sound.
so I think
Yeah.
that I think I'm right in saying B.B. King's favoured positions were 1, which is off,
But obviously we want to say he was playing a 3-5-5.
3-5-5, but
Yeah,
and position
but-
3 I think it was.
Right.
And if I play 1 again for you, and then I play 3, they're both very sweet. The positions further round for me are really quite thinned out and
Yeah.
very 60s,
Yeah.
but not really my cup of tea. But the veritones on this are great. These are still PAFs for 62 probably, but trespassing towards patent applied for.
But Chuck Berry was also a user of this
A
guitar.
345, absolutely.
I think there's a really great video of him with a 345, and he's playing with John Lennon and Yoko Ono. And when Yoko Ono is doing her very flamboyant sort of singing style,
That's a very diplomatic way of putting it.
the Chuck Berry's face is hilarious. His like expression on his face.
I'm so with
Yeah.
Chuck there. I can't tell you.
It's just absolutely priceless. You've got to see it, guys. It's on YouTube.
It's
Check it
bird
out.
noise.
It's hilarious. Just Chuck Berry's face, and I think obviously John Lennon was a massive fan of Chuck Berry, going way back, and so he convinced him to appear with him. And but Chuck Berry hadn't expected his wife to sing. It's just absolutely.
And he'd never played with a vocalist like that.
It's one of the great rock and roll moments.
Wonderful.
And the other great.
Can you put? Are you going to put the link to that?
I will put the link in there.
I've got to watch it. I've
For
never
me,
seen
my
it.
2 favourite Chuck Berry things are the argument he had with Keith Richards when Keith Richards had come and tried to form a proper band for Chuck Berry, and they were doing, the song that bend, and Keith Richards just couldn't get it. He kept on, and he was like, and then Chuck Berry would be going, look, you want to get it right? Let's get it right. And Keith Richards just couldn't do it, But it's it's hilarious. I'll put the links for both.
But this is, Chuck Berry was all about. First of all, he was always about being paid, and secondly, a lot of musicians, they had to scrap really every moment of their lives to get the gigs, hustle the gigs, get paid, all the rest of it. Everything was a power struggle.
Yeah,
and that's a classic thing when you put 2 guitar players together. Sometimes it's just a confrontation.
Yeah.
Too often, unfortunately, and it's a bit like, my dick's bigger than yours, I can play more, and that's a real kind of, come on, you're in the Rolling Stones, you're a big star, and you can't even go,
Yeah,
that's,
but I mean, it's hard. It's a lot harder than you think, because a lot of people think Chuck Berry's going to be easy. It's just going to be,
Yeah,
But it's not. There's some real intricacies to the playing.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Chuck Berry, he used to get a brand new one of these every year.
Did he?
Yeah.
That was the deal with Gibson, was it?
I don't know if it was a deal or if he'd just buy one. But
Or
he
deal
would,
with management or something?
Yeah, he would buy a new one of these.
Right.
One every year. He would get a new model.
Right.
Whatever it was, he didn't care. He had to have a new one because he wasn't thinking of I'm going to make my name on this one guitar. It was like, no, use it for a year. Use
Mind
it for
you,
a load of gigs.
he probably
get a new
gigged them. He probably gigged them 250, 300 nights
Yeah.
a year. Right, hard work. The
Yeah.
guitar was probably.
It was probably knackered. Yeah.
So in other words, it would have needed a refret or something anyway.
Yeah.
Well, why not get another guitar?
Yeah.
And then retire the other one back to being fixed up, or give it back.
Yeah. But he went through
talking of
all the
which-
70s, all the
This guy's got lovely frets. This is a refret because
Right.
the nibs aren't here anymore, so it's a refret. It's a really good refret.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said before on these videos, if I could design a guitar, right, I'd love to have a 3.5,
yeah.
right, with these parallel
Yeah, they're
integrated. And I think there are a couple of exceptions out there on the net of people who actually got custom shop ones from the day. Yeah. I just think parallelograms on a guitar like this look brilliant.
They do look good,
look great.
Yeah.
You know?
You kind of look a sophisticated guitar player, don't you?
No, you've mistaken me for somebody else.
Right. And this is kind of Justin Hayward. Am I right? No, who's it? No.
Well, possibly Justin Hayward.
Bread.
Richie Blackmore.
Richie Blackmore had one of those with a Bigsby on.
With a short Bigsby.
You know, who's in Bread? Who's the guitarist?
David Gates.
David Gates. I think he played.
Was it?
Yeah, and
the
then
guy in Sweet.
Oh yeah. And by the way, the Sweet. I mean, we remember them as like a bubblegum pop band. I saw them live once. They bloody kicked ass. They were a rock band who were playing that kind of pop for money and for their convenience. But that guitar player, I do know his name, but I've forgotten it. But he was red hot.
Who was the singer for Procol Harum? Did he?
Gary Brooker.
Gary Brooker. No, I'm thinking of another group.
You think you're Robin Trower?
No, I'm thinking of a guy. He was big in the '60s and he played a 335.
Alvin Lee.
Alvin Lee.
It wasn't Alvin Lee, but Alvin Lee was that was a guy at Woodstock, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Alvin Lee played a guitar similar to this. He played a dot, so it was early, right? He had a single pickup.
Yeah, in the middle.
I don't know what it was a black pickup, so it didn't look like it came from a Strat. It was a single pickup, gouged in here. Yeah. Obviously the CND logo and a few other stickers.
Yeah.
One of the most famous guitars in history.
Yeah, I mean that Woodstock performance was unreal, wasn't it?
Well, extraordinary. I mean, it was actually, that performance at Woodstock.
It tired me out though. You played so many notes on it. It tired me out.
Yeah, but hang on. I did a gig Sunday night. Right, fairly small audience in a pub with my good friends Jake and Artie Zeitz and their band called Blues Shaker, and they very kindly let me sit in. And at the end of the day, at the end of the evening, I kind of thought, now have I given good value tonight? Bloody hell, I've given this audience good value. They've had a lot of notes for their money.
Well, there is.
I played a lot of notes. I did my Alvins, but I did meet the man once.
Really?
Yeah, and got caught saying to a friend that there was a lot of Alvin Lee's playing in mine.
Yeah.
And I kind of tried to work it out, and he overheard me. Went and had a chat, and we didn't know how to play.
Amazing.
And now, his daughter and his estate are definitely open to offers for that guitar. They still own it.
Really?
But they do want serious coin for it.
Right.
Serious coin.
Now, as you were talking, I just remembered the guitar player. I was thinking, who was the guitarist out of the Moody Blues?
Justin Hayward.
Justin Hayward.
Yeah.
He played 335. He played 335.
Yeah. And a dot, and it was red.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so that's
I heard a Moody Blues track on Radio Paradise just the other day.
Right.
Played very badly. That's how it goes. I forgot what the song was called.
Right.
The Moody Blues were mainly known for that kind of super smooth kind of church music with a rock backing.
Was it Nights in White Satin?
Well, yeah, that was their first hit, and then all that very produced and choral stuff. Yeah. But if you listen to the instrumentation, you listen to the bass playing, you listen to the guitar playing, it's all there. It's good players. Good players.
And he was a real 335 man, wasn't he?
He was. Still, and I mean, he's like all of us. He's getting on a bit, but he was still playing until recently.
Right.
And still playing.
Yeah.
335. Yeah. And really playing well.
Yep. Yeah.
Something about him and his style of playing reminds me a little bit of Peter Frampton. Same era.
Yeah.
And both guitar players who tend to play in the major rather than the minor. Same kind of feel,
Yeah.
And in modern day, your nemesis, Chris Buck.
Chris Buck, yeah.
He's another guy, plays in the major rather than the minor.
My son, probably. How old is he?
Eh?
How old is he? He's probably old enough to be my son.
No, he isn't.
No, isn't he?
He's older than that. He's in his 30s.
Is he? Oh, okay.
He could be my son, not yours.
Yeah, no, not mine. No. I was thinking he was 21 or something.
Nah. No, he's in his 30s. Great player.
But
great player.
Yeah, so there you go. 335, beautiful example in a 345.
345.
We're very lucky to witness these guitars today. And I hope you're going to check out the next video.
There's one more before there's one more thing to say.
Yep.
All right, it's a geeky Bonamassa thing. That is a regularly strung one.
That's my way.
Is top wound. Okay, the strings are wound over the top of the bridge.
And do you know who else did this? Mick Taylor.
Mick Taylor, did he?
Yeah, I've got a photograph of Mick Taylor. Because I've always talked about it because I like it because I feel that the strings are more slinky. I don't do it for tonal thing. I only do it for bending, because I normally play 11.
And actually, this guitar is evidence of that. This is very slinky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I noticed doing some research on a video I'm making about the history of his guitars, which is currently in process. he top wraps. Not all the time, but there's photo evidence of him top wrapping.
Interesting.
On a Les Paul.
Interesting. And lots of people have tried it over history, and BB tried it once upon a time, way back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, there's all kinds of people have experimented, as you will, you know.
Well, Freddie King would have done, because he couldn't. There was no alternative on his 54.
Oh well, yeah, but that was a wraparound, so you had to top wrap.
But there you go.
Unless you had a 52 and that was under wrapped, and that was a whole nasty other story. But there you go. But anyway, when you're watching further episodes from this same shoot, but we haven't shot it yet, and you aren't seeing it yet, but there are going to be some more mentions of that kind of geekery.
Yeah,
coming
I'm a fan of top wrapping. He's not.
Well, it's not that I'm really against it. I've tried it. For me, it didn't make any particular difference. But actually, on this guitar, I can really feel it does.
Yeah.
It's very easy to bend.
Yeah. Right.
There you go.
So maybe guitar to guitar, it's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Thing.
Anyway, a little bit of geekery before we sign off.
So it's good. It's good night from him.
Even though it's still the middle of the afternoon, it's actually about 1:30 where we are now.
But most of our fans are American, so it's.
And hasta la vista, baby, from me. Until next time, cheerio.
Hasta luego. Ciao.